In this hotel, smiling isn't kindness, it's survival. Every employee here is trained to smile no matter what. Smile when you're insulted. Smile when you're exhausted. Smile when you're treated like you're replaceable. This is Chon Sa-rang. Her job isn't just customer service, it's emotional obedience. One wrong expression, and she's gone. And this man? He owns the building. Gu-won, the heir to the empire. He despises fake smiles, sees them as lies, and the woman forced to smile for a living is about to be assigned to him. Our series begins at King Hotel, specifically on recruitment day. They were looking to hire people to work at reception. And of course, recruitment means stress, because everyone wants to show their best side, but ends up doing the opposite. Unlike Sarang, our girl was sitting calmly until her name was called to enter the interview. She entered confidently, but her heel broke, so she felt this wasn't her day. She took off the heel, put it in her pocket, and went inside calmly. The manager conducting the interviews, who happened to be the hotel owner's daughter, saw that her CV didn't mention university graduation, no bachelor's degree or higher qualification. She only graduated from high school. The employee next to the manager said, "I'm sorry, there might have been a mistake when we were sorting CVs, because we usually don't accept people without higher qualifications." Anyway, she allowed Sarong to do the interview normally, but wanted to make it difficult for her. She said, "It says in your profile that you love piano. Can you play something for us?" She replied, "But there's no piano here." The manager sarcastically responded, "Oh, that's a big problem indeed," and fell silent. Our girl felt she had to act, so she started playing with her hands as if there was something in front of her and hummed with her voice. The manager said sarcastically, "Very nice. I asked you to play for me, but you played as if you were holding sticks." She said, "I'm not that good at playing, but I enjoy it." Then she made a final request to smile. She decided to smile broadly, but this wasn't Sarang's natural smile, because she normally doesn't like to smile, and her smile is only in the context of work. At night, while sitting with her friend telling her about what happened in the interview, she couldn't stand herself, but her friend told her not to worry and come work with her as a flight attendant. But Sarang refused because she loves working in hotels. Then their third friend came, and they asked her why she loves hotels. She told them it's because they're comfortable. Suddenly, a guy who had been watching Sarang's friend came over and said he saw her talking from afar. Would she and her friends like to join him and his friends at their table? When her friends looked at the table, they found his friends weren't very attractive, so they signaled her to refuse. When she refused, he asked for her number, and she gave it to him. But Sarang said to her, "How can you give a stranger your number, especially since you just broke up?" She said, "It doesn't matter. I'm definitely not going to spend my life with one person." And of course, since they weren't going to sit with the guys, they decided to take our girl and go party at a nightclub instead. The next day, our girl woke up to the sound of the phone ringing until she heard someone telling her they were calling from King Hotel and she was accepted for the job. She got up quickly and hit her head on the stairs, not believing she was accepted, and kept jumping with joy along with her friends. Meanwhile, in another place was Jun, the tough guy with no equal. Actually, if there were two of him, the country would be ruined. He's a first-class narcissist. Anyway, he was coming to the company by parachute. I swear, just like I'm telling you, he's one of the richest people in the country. God bless him. He landed on the company roof by parachute. No one cooler could make that landing. But his secretary told him, "You landed in the wrong place, boss. We're in the building next to you. Turn around and come to our building." Anyway, he entered the company and found himself among the trainees with someone training them and teaching them how to work, but he was really harsh with them, to the point where he told our guy, "You have to work hard and not be late like the one who stopped the elevator," and he was pointing at our guy. Until he looked at Gu-won, our guy, and saw his expensive outfit and said, "Hey, where are those shoes from?" He said, "I bought them from Milan." He laughed at him because it's impossible for a trainee to come to the company with expensive shoes like that, but don't think the situation ended there. He kept teasing him, saying, "First time in my life I've seen someone come in a three-piece suit and shoes from Milan. Do you think you're one of the richest people in the country or what? And what's this watch? Is it real?" He said, "Yes, of course it's real." The guy was about to faint. How could someone with all this money come work as a trainee? He thought he was joking and took him seriously, saying, "Come on, everyone go to their work." Then there was another trainee named Sang-sik working with our guy, who told him, "Let's focus on our work and do exactly what I tell you so no one gives you a hard time." He asked, "Why are you helping me?" Sang-sik replied, "Because you're my colleague and we need to be united to fight capitalism together." Suddenly, the employee training them called for them. Sang-sik got up quickly, but our guy didn't move from his place. Sang-sik kept signaling him to get up, but he didn't until he finally stood up with the presence of a minister. They were taken by his charisma. Anyway, the employee gave them a paper to print, but while printing it, the machine wasn't working. The guy training them came and told them to shake the printer's ink and it would work. So Sang-sik listened and kept shaking it until ink exploded everywhere. The manager came and started yelling at Sang-sik, but our guy got angry and said this wasn't Sang-sik's problem and he didn't do anything wrong. It's the company's fault for putting bad ink in the printer. He said, "Who are you to criticize the company? Please clean the place, you and him, and get out." He said, "Okay, we'll clean everything," and went to call his secretary to send people to clean the place. Of course, the manager was shocked and said, "Excuse me, who are you?" He said he was the company owner's son. Of course, they were all shocked because they had wronged him terribly, and they kept apologizing. Our guy was about to leave, but he found them trying to put more blame on Sung-sik. He said, "Our hands must be united to fight capitalism together. So if you want, I want you to work next to me from today, and you'll be a full-time employee. You won't need to work with these people anymore." Sung-sik couldn't believe it at first. He came to work as a trainee, and suddenly he's working with the company owner's son. The next day at King Hotel, our girl went to start her first day of work. The employee training them was telling them they need to be short with the hotel guests and smile in their faces even at their own expense because the customer is number one. And of course, since our girl is a trainee, she was going to work at the gym first. As soon as she entered with the reception employee, they found the gym wasn't clean. The reception employee responsible for most of the staff here told the girl responsible for the gym, "How is the place not cleaned like this? Clean it well," and pointed to our girl, saying she's a new trainee. Teach her the work. As soon as she left them, the girl responsible for the gym started treating our girl badly, saying, "Your job here is to clean people's sweat off the exercise equipment. And don't forget, you're just a trainee here, so you have to work hard." Honestly, she was cleaning while frustrated because she had no other choice since she wanted to work at this hotel and get promoted. Anyway, while cleaning, there was someone wearing a tiger shirt who was disgusting and looked strange. As soon as he saw our girl, he was impressed by her and started making sounds while exercising on the equipment to get her attention. The girl responsible for the gym came and told him, "Excuse me, sir, your voice is loud. Could you lower it a bit because people here complained?" He said, "Let me tell you something. Are you trying to get my attention or what? You're not my type at all. Your friend over there is my type," pointing at Sarang. He went and gave her an envelope to give to our girl. She went angrily and told our girl, "On your first day, you're already getting tips? I'm not your employee and won't deliver anything from any customer to you again." When she opened the envelope, she found money and also the room key card and a message from the man wearing the tiger shirt saying he'd be waiting tonight at the room. Of course, she got angry because he turned out to be disrespectful, and she went out to look for him and throw the envelope in his face. At that time, our guy Gu-won had come down to the gym, and coincidentally, he was wearing a tiger shirt. Our girl, as soon as she saw the shirt, rushed to him and called him, but he didn't hear her. She increased the equipment speed until he fell on his face, and she said to him, "You pervert! Do you think I'm easy and cheap because I clean people's sweat?" and threw the envelope in his face, saying, "Treat people properly. And what are you going to report me for?" He was shocked and didn't understand what she was talking about or how she could do this to him. He kept cursing her loudly until his sister, who is responsible for managing the hotel, came and told him to lower his voice a bit. "This is my hotel." He said, "No, this hotel isn't yours yet because father hasn't decided who will be the hotel manager between you two. Besides, I live here at the hotel, so I have the right to raise my voice or do what I want." It was clear their relationship wasn't the sweetest thing. Then, while Gu-won's sister was walking around the gym, she saw Sarang working and asked her, "How's work? Are you happy?" Our girl said, "I'm trying to do my best." She asked her if she knew about the safety strategies here. Our girl's manager said she's still a trainee and doesn't know these things, but our girl exceeded expectations and told her everything related to safety. Gu-won's sister told her, "Can you say everything you just said in English?" She repeated everything she said again in English. At that point, Gu-won's sister didn't hesitate and told the girl training her, "Move her to reception. A girl like this shouldn't stay here at the gym." She was shocked and said she doesn't have a higher qualification and is still a trainee. She said, "It's wrong to let a hardworking girl like this rot here in gym work. She should be at reception. Plus, she's pretty and her smile is even prettier." Of course, after hearing this, our girl's manager was jealous and told her, "I don't understand how you're going to work at reception. Everyone here speaks English. Normally, you need to speak more than one language." Our girl surprised her and started speaking Japanese and Chinese too. This made her more upset because she felt she was superior in everything. And she said, "You're not even pretty," and kept belittling her, even though deep down she knew very well that our girl was pretty, hardworking, and smart. But she has issues, may God cure her, and tries to compensate by belittling our girl. After that, our girl left happy. As for our guy, he left upset, and the two were standing in the same place, each looking at the hotel with different feelings. She was happy with the place, and he felt he wanted to leave and never come back. And indeed, each of them walked away, and years passed, year after year, and everything changed. He traveled abroad, and our girl was getting getting promoted at work all the time. As for her friend, she got married to the person whose number she took before and even had children with him. Year after year, our girl got engaged and was still getting promoted at work. As for our guy, he was graduating from his university until we reached 2023 after 7 years, and they were two completely different people. But this time, our guy received a strange message, and because of it, he decided to return to Korea as soon as possible. He called his assistant to pack his things and travel with him. And I should tell you, he's still with the same assistant. He doesn't rely on anyone else because they're like brothers, not just his assistant. At the hotel, our girl was teaching new trainees how to deal with reception and that they need to be kind to people who come to the hotel, but with genuine kindness and a genuine smile, not fake kindness. At that moment, the girl working with her at reception came in and told her, "What did you do with a customer who's looking for you and refused to leave until she meets you? Go see what you messed up with her." When our girl went to see her, she discovered she was the famous retired singer, and she wanted to thank her, saying, "Thank you, because today is the first time in my life I woke up to the sound of my music, even though I've been retired for years. But you made me feel like I'm back to my youth," she said. "Of course I remember you. Who could forget a famous and esteemed singer like you? And of course, as you can see, our girl, everyone loves her and praises her beauty and manners." Until our guy arrived at the hotel and finally arrived. Here was the problem, because he forgot his phone on the train, so he called someone from reception to bring it to him. The lazy girl asked our girl to go get his phone, but our girl was stuck and dying to use the bathroom. She tried to hold herself together and go get the phone, but as she was leaving the train, she saw the bathroom next to her and said, "Why not? I'll go into the bathroom anyway." As for our guy, he was in a hurry and went back to the train to get the phone himself. Our girl was like a donkey, dazzled by the city lights. She liked the bathroom and that it worked with a remote, so she kept playing with it. He, of course, was coming out of the cabin and noticed something moving in the bathroom. When he looked at her, she was still playing with the remote and shouted, "Don't look!" He said, "No, I won't look, don't worry. What do you think I am?" After that, she stayed inside the bathroom, refusing to come out, and he wanted her to give him the phone. As soon as she opened the door, she fell into his arms, and it became a romantic moment straight out of What We Die For. Anyway, he felt he had seen her before, and she also knew from the day of the envelope and the tiger shirt. She ran out quickly, but he didn't leave her alone and went after her to see why she did that to him that day. She told him honestly, "You're the one at fault because you looked down on me that day and acted rudely." But he said, "No, I didn't do anything. You're lying about me. Please apologize for what you did today and what you did that day." "Come on, apologize," he said. "I'm sorry for what happened today, but I won't apologize for what happened that day because I didn't do anything wrong." And she ran to take the elevator. He was still behind her, refusing to leave her alone, but she kept smiling at him provocatively, and he doesn't like smiles in general, especially when they're fake. And of course, she went down not knowing he was the hotel owner. After that, there was a ceremony for appointing the new hotel manager, and everyone was waiting for him to come out and give his speech. Until our girl saw him coming in, she was shocked. If he's that person, she'll be fired if he notices her. At that moment, our guy couldn't stand himself because he saw everyone sitting with fake smiles, and he hates people who smile because he has trauma from when he was young. As for our girl, she was sitting nervously because she was the best employee at the hotel, so she was supposed to go up and give him a bouquet of flowers to congratulate him on his new position. She went up hiding her face, but he felt something strange and tried to lift the bouquet to see her face. He told her, "So, it's you. We are going to have a long time together after this." After the party, in our guy's office, his secretary was standing telling him that Sarang is the best employee here at the hotel, so next week they'll film a promotional video for the hotel with her. He told him, "Go out and leave me with her." Of course, she was devastated. Where could she go? He's definitely going to destroy her. He insisted she had to apologize, and she completely refused until he told her, "Who told you that you were the person who was harassed?" She said, "I knew it was you from the tiger shirt." He almost had a heart attack from her stupidity and said, "Anyone wearing a tiger shirt means he's the same person who harassed you?" Of course, she felt she made a big mistake because it's clear he's not a harasser. He went and told her, "You're not even my type. What's your name anyway? Never ever think about you. Are you crazy or what?" Check out the one who says never while he's achieving the impossible after that. Anyway, when he found her apologizing with a smile, he told her, "Stop smiling when you see me, or I'll fire you." She said, "Okay, thank you for allowing me to stop forcing my smile like this. Anyway, I'm not interested in smiling at you," and left shocked to see her work. At reception, our guy's secretary came to tell Sarang that they sent her an invitation to attend Gu Won's welcome dinner, and this is a VIP dinner, not just anyone goes there. So as soon as she entered, she was amazed until our guy came from behind her and said, "I thought you'd make an effort and not show me your face again, but everywhere I go, I find you." She was completely locked up by him. Then, while they were sitting, Gu Won's father was talking and welcoming people, telling them to drink a toast to wish his son well at the hotel as manager. together. Our girl got excited and stood up to speak loudly, but found them all sitting properly. She was embarrassed, but the president asked her who she was. Our guy's sister said, "This is the best employee at the hotel," he told her. "Since you're the best employee, come say a welcoming word." She went confidently and smiled at our guy on purpose, saying it was an honor for her to serve someone as intelligent as their manager. Gu-won's father was impressed with her and told the employees to give her the most expensive tuna, and she couldn't take it with her. Then he asked our guy to get up and say a word too. He told them, "Thank you for coming today, and very soon I'll make King Hotel a place without fake smiles." And he was looking at our girl and throwing shade at her. The next day at the hotel, there was a rude customer making a big scene with our girl until Gu-won came and noticed what was happening. He asked her what was wrong. She told him this customer is a famous actress who told them she could do a promotional show for their hotel in exchange for letting her stay here for free. But of course, Sarang refused, because that's not according to hotel rules. Of course, this actress got angry with her and kept bothering her. He told her, "The best employee here should know how to deal with a rude customer like this and kick her out." Of course, the lady was surprised they were treating her this way. She expected maybe our guy would fire Sarang since she refused her offer, but she didn't expect him to stand by her side. The actress's manager told her to calm down and not make a problem because they might film her and post the video and it would be a scandal. She went back to our girl and said, "Who do you think you are to treat me like this?" Our girl kept apologizing to her to smooth things over, but our guy got angry and went back to tell her, "Why are you still apologizing to her? Come with me to my office right now." At that point, the lazy girl came. Our guy said, "You're supposed to protect your employees. How can you let her be humiliated like this?" and left. Then Sarang went with him to the office, and he told her, "As long as you didn't do anything wrong, don't apologize. Or is your tongue long with me and you challenge me individually, but with other people the cat eats your tongue and you keep apologizing to them?" She said, "That's because the two situations are completely different. We're supposed to provide our service without making them feel insulted." But he told her this doesn't please him, and when she finds someone crossing their limits, she should stop them. Anyway, she was quiet and felt he didn't want to tell her anything else. So she said, "If you don't want me for anything else, I'll leave." But he told her, "Don't ask me anything in the interview. Not my favorite color, not my hobbies, not anything." She said, "I don't understand what would make me ask you in the first place." He said, "Aren't you supposed to prepare the interview with me?" She said, "I don't know about this." He called his secretary and said, "Didn't you tell her about the interview?" He said, "This is information you should know, not her. She's supposed to be surprised by the questions in the interview." He said, "Are you stupid or what? You mean you're giving me the questions I'll be asked and refusing to let her know the questions?" He said, "Those are the orders I received. What's my fault?" Our guy was fed up with the whole thing and said, "I'm not doing an interview or anything." But his secretary kept convincing him, saying the interview is very important for his public image, especially since we're in the social media age. It's a battlefield. He said, "Definitely I won't take this cat with me to war. I want to take a real killer with me." Our girl said, "Oh my God, am I going to war?" As if he was enlisting because of her. He said, "Oh Lord, why do you put me with these two stupid people?" At night, our girl was out on a date with her boyfriend, but she wasn't happy because he took her just to go up the hill and she was bored. Plus, instead of taking her on a proper date, he brought her to attend a reunion with his friends from high school days. They all had their girlfriends sitting next to them, feeding each other. Anyway, she got up to leave because she didn't like the atmosphere, especially since he wasn't interested in her. But he went after her and said, "Wait." She said, "You were supposed to take me on a date, not bring me to sit with your friends, and you told me we wouldn't be long." He said, "Wait, I'll say goodbye to them and come with you. I'll take you home." But as soon as he entered to say goodbye, his female friends tried to pull him to stay. He said, "Okay, just one last drink and I'll leave right away." But one drink led to another, and the session got sweet. When our girl saw he was still sitting, she lost hope in him and left him. She won't tolerate him anymore. The next day, our girl was going to the airport because she's traveling on a Jeju trip with our guy, because they're going to film the promotional show there and do the interview together. Honestly, she looked like the moon, wearing white, and this made our guy turn into a walking block of ice and move away from her because of her beauty. But because he's a mule, as you know, he was making her look bad and even threw his bag at her to carry. But she let it fall until it hit someone behind them. Of course, the man the bag hit yelled and wanted them to apologize. She and the secretary ran away because she was scared of the man's appearance and left our guy to deal with him. He was a bit scared and tense. He took out money, 1,000,000 won, and said, "Take it, sir, to compensate you for what happened." He said, "Do you think you can buy me with your money?" But when he looked at the money and found it was 1,000,000 won, he said, "Do you want me to carry your bag, sir? I can take you all the way to the car." He said, "No thanks," and left, raising his head. He intended to get revenge on both our girl and his secretary for leaving him and running away. When they got out of the airport, our guy was riding his very luxurious car, and suddenly he opened the sunroof. She was amazed and thought she was going to ride with him, but he shocked them and said, "Who told you that you're riding with me? You common people. Go take a taxi," and said bye-bye and left. So they went back by taxi, and they were cramped among the bags. After that, each of them was preparing for filming the promotional video. Honestly, as soon as our guy entered, it was something I can't describe to you. And of course, our girl was impressed by his beauty. It's natural for anyone who sees this and doesn't get impressed. As soon as he sat down, he kept bothering her and said, "It's clear you're nervous," she said. "God bless you. Coming all dressed up at level 10 just because you're appearing on TV? And you even did your hair to the side like a cow's hairstyle." He kept looking for that hairstyle and said, "Cow's hairstyle. Okay, I swear I'll show you." Anyway, she started asking him questions written on the paper in front of her, asking, "I heard your mother was one of the founders of this hotel. What's the most memorable memory with her here?" At that moment, his face and heart changed colors, and he couldn't stand her or see anyone around him because she touched his nerve, especially since he has trauma about this subject and hates having his mother's memory brought up in front of him. When she found he wasn't responding, she asked him a different question, also about his mother, saying, "What's your mother's favorite meal?" At this time, his sneaky sister was laughing while watching, because she's the one who planned these questions to destroy him in any way, knowing his weakness. At that point, our guy got up and left the interview as is. She got nervous because this is a live interview, he can't just get up like that. She tried to be balanced and said something suddenly came up and he had to get up, and he didn't know they were broadcasting live. She started talking about herself and that she loves King Hotel because she came here when she was young with her mother and they spent the happiest night of her life, which is why she decided to work here. She was happy because she could live new moments every day in the same place her mother brought her to. At that time, our guy came after calming down a bit, sat down, and asked her to show him the questions that were written. He looked and found all the questions were about his mother. He told her, "All the questions are about my mother," and suddenly threw the paper and said, "Ask me a real question you want to ask me now." She said, "What do you think of the sunset?" He said, "It's very beautiful. Let's get up and see it up close." They got up to see it, and the director filmed a beautiful scene from the hotel roof, which made the views increase because the scene was very beautiful. After they finished filming, our girl said to him, "Why do you act like this? This is my livelihood, and I know you came here through connections, but any mistake will make me lose my job, but nothing will happen to you." He told her, "You don't know what you did today. You pressed on an old wound and interfered in something that doesn't concern you." His secretary came to talk to them about people's comments and that they're amazed by the sunset scene, so they'll do a photo session tomorrow on the island. But he told him, "End this conversation, I'm not continuing filming," and left. But as usual, his secretary tries to convince him to go by force, and he actually went the next day by force to the photo session, and he was frustrated. As for our girl, she and the photographer kept telling him to smile so they could take the picture, and he completely refused to smile, as if the world would end if he smiled. Our girl decided to provoke him and said, "Since you act like a strong, tough guy who can do everything, can't you smile?" He said, "I can smile with my pinky finger, but I'm not in the mood." She said, "Show us then." He smiled a fake smile, and he looked ridiculous. They kept laughing at him because he really doesn't know how to smile. Honestly, our girl was fed up with him and wanted to leave, but unfortunately, his secretary told her they still had to film on a boat in the middle of the sea. She was forced to ride the boat with him, and they were almost at an island there. Our guy refused and told him, "Take us back to the hotel." But the boat owner said, "I'm not going back if you want to go back. Swim back." Anyway, they arrived at the island. He tried to call his secretary to come get him, but there was no signal, so he was forced to walk behind our girl. He was a bit scared, so she said, "What's wrong? Are you scared or what?" He said, "No, of course not. If I was scared, I wouldn't have stood behind you to protect you. I would have walked in front of you so you could protect me." At that moment, she jumped in his face, and he almost died of fear. She said, "It's clear you're not scared." He said, "Shame on you. No, I'm not scared, and you'll see I'll walk in front of you now." But as soon as he walked, he saw someone from afar who he thought was scary, so he fainted. I have never seen such a coward in my life. When he woke up, he found himself in a strange room, and the same lady he saw outside was there. He went out quickly while scared and fell on his face. At that moment, our girl was passing by and said, "What made you come out? Weren't you tired?" He said, "Where are we exactly?" The lady who owned the place, whom he's scared of, came and said, "You're in the finest hotel on the island, and isn't it shameful for you to faint when you're this tall and wide? You made your pretty wife carry you all the way inside. May God help her with you." He said, "Pretty?" He ignored everything she said and caught the word pretty, which bothered him a lot. But our girl told her, "No, we're not married. I have better taste in men than this, and I don't choose just anyone easily." He he said. So I'm just anyone? Anyway, the husband of the place owner came and told them to finish their fight later and come have a drink. They both shouted in one voice, "We told you we're not married!" After that, they sat drinking with them and kept arguing with each other until the couple got bored and left them and ran inside. Our guy noticed she was smiling, which made him zone out a bit looking at her features, until he hit himself and said, "Didn't I tell you before not to smile?" She said, "This is a genuine smile. I wasn't faking it." But he told her, "No, genuine or whatever. Don't you dare smile in front of me again." She said, "I'll smile as much as I want," and went back to ask him to pour her a glass while smiling. He kept looking at her, which made her nervous, and she moved away from him a bit. The next day when she woke up, she found herself covered with a blanket. She got up and took it off, saying he must have covered her because it smells like him. She suddenly fell on our guy, and this was the fall that actually broke the barrier between them. Then, on their way back, she had a suitcase, and he said, "Come on, I'll take you." She ran to show him off because there was no other way than him, until they forgot they didn't pay for last night at all. They went back to the auntie they stayed with last night, even though it's not a hotel or anything. They were going to pay for the night. She shocked them with the amount, saying she wanted 750,000 won, even though they slept in the same room. Gu-won, the idiot, was going to pay normally because the amount was trivial to him, but our girl refused and said, "The night with drinks doesn't exceed 350,000 won, and that's being very generous. Are you trying to scam him because he's rich?" Her son, the boat owner who brought them yesterday, came and said, "What's wrong, Mom? Are they bothering you?" She said, "Hey, you're her son? It looks like you came here to scam us so your mother can benefit. The boat yesterday could have taken us back to the hotel normally. He stayed quiet because that's what happened. They wanted them to come and benefit his mother. They paid the amount from both their silence." After a few days, our girl was at the hotel when Guwon's father came. When he saw her, he said, "Aren't you the one who was the best employee for 2.25 years? You need to be promoted to the Happy Moments Hall. Not just anyone enters there easily." She was happy because she finally got to the best place in the hotel. As for Guwon, he was sitting looking at the photo shoot pictures they took, focusing on her pictures while she was laughing and zooming in, even though just a few days ago he was telling her, "You're not my type, and never ever will I think about you." His secretary came in suddenly and said, "I caught you. What are you doing?" He was startled by his entrance and decided to consult him about whether to get her a gift, for example, because she helped him a lot. He decided to get her mochi because he saw her eating a lot of it on the day of filming. After they finished work, he saw her leaving, so he went out after her to give it to her, but found her boyfriend hugging her. He was shocked because it turned out she was already in a relationship. They're going to reach heaven and earth to command her again. As for our girl's boyfriend, he came to apologize to her, but she told him she was tired of his ways. No matter how much he apologizes, he goes back and repeats the same mistakes until she lost hope in him. She asked him to go somewhere else to talk calmly, but suddenly he said he doesn't know any other place to go because he has an appointment with his friends. She said, "So you came to apologize to me and sit with me, but you're telling me this? Are your friends more important than me? It's clear I spoiled you too much, but you couldn't handle it and started treating me badly. I'm tired of you. I want to end this relationship," he said. "I'm sorry. Wait a minute. I'll respond to the place." But he was responding to his friends, arranging the outing with them and saying he won't be late to them. As for her, he's not interested in her, which is why she left, but he told her to wait and went after her until she crossed the road. There was an opportunity for him to cross after her, but he didn't catch up with her. Or rather, he didn't bother to catch up with her. As for our guy, it was clear he was jealous of her, and he kept telling himself, "Are you retarded or what? What's wrong with you being upset? It's normal for her to have a boyfriend or whatever. It's none of your business." He went and threw the gift out the window. A traffic officer came and said, "You have a fine. You threw trash on the street. Come down and get it, sweetie." He went down to get it and apologized to the officer, but it was clear the officer was sympathizing with him and said, "I know for sure it's a girl who did this to you, and she's probably pretty and gave you a lot of trouble," he said. "The veil has been lifted from you. How did you know?" he said. "Actually, my girlfriend who left me was like that, and she ruined my life." Honestly, the officer sat with him on the sidewalk on the curb and kept telling him about his girlfriend, saying, "Be careful of pretty girls, because they'll take you to hell." As for our pretty girl, she was the one whose boyfriend was toxic. She was sitting crying on the bus until she called her grandmother and told her she wanted to see her and sleep at her place tonight, and also eat her food that she missed. Honestly, when our girl went to her grandmother, she was helping her in her restaurant, and all the customers loved her very much and called her "my son's woman" because each one of them knows her and wants to marry her to their son because she's beautiful and polite. Her grandmother told them, "Stop calling my granddaughter my son's woman all the time. She's not anyone's wife." But why her life? And there was another customer calling our girl, saying, "Come here. My son's woman, bring me more kimchi. Anyway, our girl spent the day with her grandmother and told her she left her animal boyfriend, but her grandmother encouraged her and said, I know he's probably the one at fault. Don't trust any man unless he treats you well. And indeed, yes, Grandma, you're absolutely right. The next day, our girl went to work in the Happy Moments Hall, the VIP hall I told you about. Honestly, she was extremely happy. But on the other hand, our guy, as soon as he saw her, was impressed and didn't understand what was wrong with him every time he sees her. His heart beats like that. Even while he was having a meeting with the employees, the hall manager was talking, and he wasn't listening to her at all. He was focused on our girl and kept stealing glances. Until the hall manager said to him, Are you listening to me? He said, Yes, I'm listening. Whatever you think is appropriate, do it, she said. I see that we should increase the incentives, he said. Yes, yes, of course, increase them. She said they received 30,000 incentives, and he said, How stingy is that? No, of course, that's a very small amount. You should get bigger incentives. Increase it, don't worry. Then, while he was sitting in his office, he was dying to call our girl. He sent her a message saying he wanted to meet her after work, and he kept counting from 1 to 3, expecting her to reply now, but she didn't. He kept sitting monitoring his phone, playing with it, maybe she'll reply, but she didn't reply either, to the point where he kept turning over an hourglass and waiting for it to finish until she replied, and she still wasn't replying. In reality, she had actually finished work and left. Even when he was calling her and she was sitting at home, she didn't answer because it was a strange number and not even saved. The next day, as soon as he entered the hall, he told her, Come behind me, I want a word with you. She was shocked because he appeared like a ghost. She went to see him and what he wanted. He said, I was calling you yesterday, why didn't you answer me? She said, Oh, that was you calling? I didn't have the number saved, he said. Also, you don't even remember my number? Here, take my card and save my number. She was waiting for him to tell her what he wanted, until he told her he wanted to take her to dinner, but she refused. He said, Please, I want to return the favor for the day on the island. Please let me invite you. But she was still insistent that she didn't want him to invite her or show any kindness toward her inside work. But our guy's head is an old cassette, you know. He called his secretary and said, Look, you handle it and make her come have dinner with me tonight. Tell her I'm making her a welcome dinner. He said, Okay, maybe. But can you choose the picture you like so we can post it? He said, I won't choose it unless you make her come have dinner with me tonight. Anyway, he called her, and our guy went at level 10, thinking he's going to have dinner with her and show off. But he was shocked when he entered and found all the employees there. He thought he entered the wrong room and quickly left, but his secretary told him, What room? Come in, didn't you tell her it's a welcome dinner? He said, Why a welcome dinner? Will I bring all the employees? Anyway, while they were having dinner, our guy noticed she wasn't eating much fish. He asked her, What's wrong? Don't you like it? And had his secretary go get her a steak from the restaurant next to them. But she kept refusing, and he insisted she had to eat something she liked. They actually brought her the steak, and she was a bit embarrassed. He told her, What? Can't you cut it? Let my secretary cut it for you. But she said, No, of course I can cut it. The female employee next to her, teasing her, said, Can you eat by yourself, or do you want me to feed you? After the welcome dinner was over, Saring asked to speak with him privately and told him, Why are you trying to put me in a difficult position? Don't make me look good in front of the employees because this bothers me and makes them think you're treating me differently. He didn't understand why she was so upset. It's normal. It wasn't even a big deal that he got her a steak. One day, our girl was leaving work and found her horrible ex waiting for her, still insisting on getting back together. She said, Don't you understand? I told you we're not continuing together. He said, I'll take you to an expensive restaurant today since you were upset I don't take you out to eat. She said, I definitely didn't leave you for a trivial reason like that. You don't even know what you did wrong. I should have left you a long time ago and not wasted my time with you. Please stay away from me, because I don't love you anymore, and left, upset with herself for spending so much time of her life with this worthless guy. She went to the place she loves and kept crying under the rain until our guy came with his umbrella and said, This is my place. She was about to leave and give it to him, but she was about to fall, so he held her. He said, I'll allow you this time only. She moved away and told him she would leave, but he ran after her and wanted to take her home. She refused, but he insisted on taking her home anyway. When they got in the car, she was upset and fell asleep from sadness. Our guy went to get her clothes to replace the ones that got ruined from the rain and said, Get up, we've arrived. She woke up and responded to him formally as if at work. He gave her the clothes and said, Try them, I think they'll be your size. I invite you to dinner today. She went in to change her clothes, and when she came out, she found him wearing exactly her clothes. She said, What's this? Did you get me matching couple clothes? What will people think of us now? He said, Don't worry, they won't think anything. As soon as they sat down to eat, the waitress came to take their picture because she thought they were a couple. But our girl said, No, of course we're not together. He said, Are you that upset that people think we're together? It's normal you're making a big deal out of it. Anyway, he wanted to celebrate her birthday. She was surprised how he knew, but since she's his employee, it's easy to know everything about her. But she told him she doesn't like celebrating her birthday because she feels it's not a special special day. But he said, on the contrary, it's a very special day. After he celebrated her birthday with her, he wanted to take her home and gave her the cake to eat, since she didn't get to eat it at the restaurant. But suddenly she found her ex coming and saying, so this is why you left me? You were dating someone else. She said, respect yourself. There's nothing between you and me. But he said, no, of course I'm your boyfriend. And why is he with you? She said, boyfriend how? You're my ex. We've already separated. Our girl called the police and told them there's someone bothering her here. And she said, if he doesn't stay away from her, she'll hold him by his collar next time. As soon as she entered, our guy told him, did you hear what she told you? Please stay away from her. But he was still insistent on getting a rise out of our guy. Our guy grabbed his hand that he was trying to extend and said, since a girl told you she doesn't want you, respect yourself and don't come near her. And if you want to come see her, you have to ask her first if she agrees. He got scared and left angrily. As for our guy, he was dying of happiness because she left this animal, because this sheet was finally ripped for him. When he got in his car, he sent her a message saying, happy birthday, but she didn't reply quickly. He called her again saying, why aren't you replying to me? She said, I was about to reply, but you didn't give me a chance. He said, happy birthday, I didn't get to tell you face to face, but I'm telling you now. She felt happy because he made her birthday different from any birthday she'd ever had. The next day at the hotel, she sent him a message asking if he was busy now and if he was free after work. He was excited because she definitely wanted to see him. He told her, yes, definitely busy, but he was telling her while trying to play hard to get. She said, okay, fine, we'll talk later. But he was upset because he wanted to know what she wanted. He shouldn't have played hard to get. He said, I can make time for you. Tell me what you want. But she wasn't replying. He said, do you want to meet after work? But she still wasn't replying. He went to her specifically. He's not going to keep waiting for her like this. As soon as he saw her with a tray, he grabbed the tray from her and said, what did you want? She said, I thought you were busy. He said, no, I can make time for you normally. She said, I wanted us to meet after work. He said, okay, I'll make time for you until we meet. But she said, it's not a problem if you're busy. He said, no, of course I told you I'll make time for you. At night, after she finished work, he was sitting in his car waiting for her, but she was afraid someone would see them. So she said, just open the car window for me, and gave him the gift to thank him for celebrating her birthday. But he said, no, need you didn't have to tire yourself. She said, okay, you don't have to accept it. Give it back. But he said, no, of course not. And she quickly left before anyone saw them. He got out of the car and said, come on, let's go have dinner together. She agreed and said, okay, let's go quickly get in before anyone sees us. She took him to a restaurant where you have to queue. He, of course, being a big shot, can't wait. She said, I swear, if you don't listen to me, I'll get up and leave. He said, okay, sit down. I'll wait here with you. Every time he stood up when a number was called, she'd say, no, that's not our number, until their number came. He said, that's our number. But she said, sit down. That's not our number. When he sat down, she said, yes, that's our number. Get up. Honestly, when he entered, he didn't like anything. She said, what are you grumbling about? I come here on special occasions. I brought you specifically. If you don't like it, let's leave. He said, sit down. I'll sit down next to you here. Honestly, as soon as he saw the chef making the food, he was amazed, just like her, and kept taking pictures. Even the taste of the food pleased him, and he didn't expect the restaurant to please him this much. After they finished dinner, he said, so where are we having dinner tomorrow? She said, no, that's it. We're done. We won't meet outside the hotel again. But he was insistent and said, we'll meet. We're meeting. She kept telling him, no, we won't meet. But what's in his head is in his head, and he's not listening to her at all, as if she's not speaking. The next day at the hotel, our girl was working normally, calling the VIPs who came to the hotel to ask them to come to the hotel again when they're free. But our guy, when he heard her talking on the phone like that, got angry and said, what are you doing? You're humiliating yourself for some incentives. But she told him, instead of scolding me for my work, you should encourage me. Aren't you the ones who set these rules for us to get incentives? He said, I praise work, I swear. It's very humiliating work, and left her standing upset by his way. When he returned to his office, he kept thinking and saying she was laughing with customers to get them to come to the hotel again. He said, poor thing, her job is very difficult. All this for some incentives. She's definitely excused. He told him, since they want to work, let them go down to the farm for a week and struggle since they love struggling. But they don't love struggling at all. They wish this farm week would be canceled because even if they get paid for it, it's very exhausting work. From our girl's luck, she was going to travel and take a train at night to arrive in the morning to go to the farm owner they're trying to get to come to their hotel, especially since he loves a competing hotel and they want him to try their service. When she arrived there, his wife told her he went up the mountain to look for ginseng plants. She said, okay, I'll go up after him to give him this gift, and changed her clothes and went up the mountain. As for our guy, he was worried about her, especially since he saw in the news that it would rain today. But his secretary told him, don't worry, there's only a 30% chance it will rain. At that moment, it started raining, so he started to get scared and called her to see where she was. She said she went up up the mountain, but he told her to come back now, the weather is bad. But suddenly she saw a ginseng plant and said, wait, and left the phone to go get the plant, because if she got the plant, she'd be able to convince the farm owner to try visiting their hotel. But suddenly she fell from the top of the mountain. Of course, our guy didn't wait and went to her right away. At night, when she woke up, she found her leg hurt and thought this was her end. But she saw a glimmer of light from above. It was our guy, the brave knight, coming to save her. But don't think he came easily. He had to go ask his sister first and ask her to give him the helicopter to go to our girl with it. But his sister refused and said, we won't send out a helicopter for one employee. He said, how are you not worried about the safety of your employees? And insisted on disobeying her and taking the helicopter and saving our girl. As soon as he arrived there, he rescued her from the mountain. She was shocked because she thought he was a stranger since she couldn't see well, but was shocked when she found it was our guy and said, you came, and hugged him, saying, I was scared, but they stayed sitting there because the helicopter definitely won't come down. He said, don't worry, as long as they know our location, they'll send us help. And besides, I'll protect you. But suddenly, a bird jumped at them, and he got scared. She said, it's clear you'll protect me. At that moment, two people appeared. It was the farm owner and his wife, because his wife felt our girl was late. So as soon as her husband came back, she told him she went outside to the mountain. Anyway, they brought them clothes to replace their ruined clothes. Our girl thanked them because if not for them, they'd be stuck until morning there. The next day, our girl was sweeping the place before leaving, but our guy refused and said, I swear I'll sweep instead of you. But she kept pulling the broom from him until she accidentally hit him with it. She said, I'm sorry, here, take it. I don't want it. He kept showing her how to sweep correctly, but he was throwing dust toward her until it hit her injured leg. She said, shame on you, that's where it hurts. He made her sit down, but noticed she glared when he told her, come on, sweep gently. He felt how precious she was. Then they got dressed to leave. She brought the farm owner the ginseng she found and said, I found this on the mountain. It's wild ginseng, right? But our guy said, it's impossible for it to be ginseng. It's hard for anyone to find it. But she said, it's ginseng indeed. It's clear God blessed you, which is why you found it. But despite that, the man refused to take it and said she should keep it because she's the one who found it. She agreed to keep it and said she'd go visit her grandmother and give it to her. But on their way, they met our guy's secretary. Our girl decided to ride in the front next to the secretary because she didn't want to sit next to our guy. He was upset because she sat in front of him, chatting with his secretary. Anyway, they stopped at a rest stop to get food and put gas in the car. Our guy said, I'll drive you go back, expecting to sit next to her in front. But he found she sat in the back next to him again, and they were both completely soaked in conversation. And he was at his limit, fed up with them. Our girl told him, eat something. You haven't eaten anything. But he kept pretending he didn't want to, and she kept trying to get him to eat. She was dying for him to finally eat. But the secretary snatched it from her and said, you don't have to force feed him. He might get an upset stomach. He's not used to this food. But the secretary is smart. He felt his stomach and got hungry and made them stop again at a gas station so he could use the bathroom. He got out of the car running to the bathroom. As for our guy, he said he deserves it for being so chatty. But our girl told him, shame on you, he's sick. He said, why are you upset with me? He went and called his secretary and said, take a week off because I'm going to leave you here. He asked our girl about the place where her grandmother lives to take her there. When they arrived at her grandmother's, she entered the restaurant, but our guy didn't want to leave. He went to look at her and watch her. He found the auntie coming with a fly swatter saying, why are you staring at my granddaughter? He said. I'm her colleague, she said. Okay, come in as a colleague. Carry this onion and come. He carried it and went after her. She found her telling him to sit, wear an apron, and sit cutting onions. But he didn't know how to cut them. She said, what's wrong? Have you never cut onions? He said, oh, honestly, I've never cut them. But she thought he was saying this to escape from cutting, and that was it, to escape from cutting. At that moment, our girl was calling her grandmother, saying, come, Grandma, the customers want you. Of course, she didn't know he was inside sitting outside. She said, I'm coming. I left him cutting onions, and she wished she hadn't left him. He cut the onions into squares and cut half with a knife. When she came out and found him cutting onions like that, she said, shame on you, you messed up the onions. I'm wrong for leaving you to cut them. Then she went inside. Our girl, when she came out, saw him outside, was shocked and said, what are you doing here? I hope Grandma didn't see you, he said. Unfortunately, she saw me and made me into fried potatoes. Anyway, Grandma called them to go get tofu from the market. They went together, but our girl forgot the tofu completely and took him on a tour of the market to explore the place and made him eat because it's her hometown. Then she wanted him to play a luck game where you win a toy, and every time he lost, but he'd go back and borrow money from our girl to play again. Anyway, he tried his luck this time, and praise God, he was lucky and got a fish toy. The two of them were cheering with joy, as if they'd won £1,000,000. Then, on their way back, suddenly there were firecrackers and rockets that exploded. She screamed from the shock, so he held her to protect her and said, "Are you okay?" She said, "What's wrong?" He said, "I told you I'd protect you from anything, but they were just firecrackers and rockets, not bombs you saw." He made a big deal out of it. When they returned, Grandma said, "Where's the tofu?" She said, "Oh my God, I forgot. I'll go back and get it." But she said, "Where are you going? Your head's not with you anyway," and prepared food for our guy to take with him as he was leaving. She gave him his day's wages because he cut the onions and gave our girl one too, but she refused to take it at first. She said, "Take this. At least you brought me ginseng, but next time, don't go up the mountain again. If I catch whoever made you go to that mountain, I'll cut his throat." Our guy put his hand on his throat, scared, and said, "God willing, I'll come next time, Grandma." She said, "Come where? We're short of you. Come to peel onions." Anyway, he took our girl to drop her at home. She thanked him for everything he did, but he said if she really wanted to thank him, she should invite him to lunch. But this time it won't be a regular invitation. It will be a date. And here he finally came out of his silence and hinted to her. The girl was excited about the date. At the hotel, there was an important party for Gu-won's childhood friend's birthday, and his father wanted to marry them, so he was forced to go congratulate her and get her a gift because she's his friend since they were young, regardless of their parents wanting to marry them. But our girl, unfortunately, took her gift because they asked her to deliver it. At that moment, our guy was telling his friend happy birthday. She asked him, "Where's my gift?" He turned around to call them to bring it, but was shocked when he found our girl was the one who brought the gift. Anyway, the gift pleased his friend, and she went back and called our girl to carry it and wrap it. He said, "Don't carry it, it's heavy." But she said, "No, I'll carry it normally. It's work, sir." And she was treating him formally. She went to put it down while upset, but met our guy's secretary. He said, "What's the news? Today will be a nice date, right?" She said, "Let me tell you something. Even you want to go out with me on a date? I wish that as long as you don't like the person in front of you, don't tell them let's go out on a date." He was surprised what was she talking about, because he meant her date with our guy. At home, she was sitting sad, telling her friends about what happened. They told her, "Oh my, get up, let's sing and dance and order food from everywhere and forget your sorrows." She got really into singing until there was a knock on the door. She went to open it looking like this and was shocked. She was forced to enter and introduce him to her friends, but didn't tell them he was her manager. She told them he's definitely her colleague. Please take care of her. She's had enough of her animal manager who thinks highly of himself. She was shocked and said, "No, guys, he's not an animal." But they said, "No, of course he's an animal. It's enough that he treats you like you're his slave." Our guy got the medicine he brought and said, "I felt you were sick, so I brought you this." But her friends told him, "You know what? You took a thread of our approval. You look halal, and we'll marry you to our girl." But she told them to shut up a bit. He asked them if he could talk to her alone, but they kept cheering, thinking there was something between them. She asked him why he came. He should have stayed with his girlfriend on her birthday. He said, "She's not my girlfriend." But she was surprised and said, "But she's your fiancé. And any girl you're engaged to like this, are you a rest house?" She was shocked because she was jealous and got up to say she won't do anything again to increase suspicions between them. Her heart beat from his beauty and appearance. She's not used to this. The next day, the sneaky sister asked our girl to do a press interview about the mountain day when the helicopter came to save her, to credit herself. Our girl was forced under pressure to agree and was sitting at the press conference upset until our guy entered the hall. When she saw him, she was upset she doesn't want to credit anyone else because he's the one who saved her. But the journalist asked her, "What are your feelings toward what happened on the mountain day?" She said, "I'm grateful to Manager Gu for sending me the helicopter," but stopped and went back to say there was an important man she wanted to thank because he's the one who came with the helicopter all the way to me. Saved my life. Thank you to Manager Gu-won. He left happy and, at the same time, not upset with her. One day, there was an important Arab customer coming to the hotel. They were standing to receive him because he's a Saudi prince, and they had to take care of him. Even our guy was going to receive him while frustrated. He even opened the door for him. As soon as the prince got out, his eyes caught Sarang and he loved her smile. He approached her and she said, "This is a gift from our hotel. I chose it myself." He said, "Even your heart shines like your beauty. Can you wear it for me?" But our guy pulled the scarf to wear it for him himself. We don't have women dressing anyone. The prince asked her to have lunch with him. And of course she had to go with the manager's approval because you can't refuse his request. She was sitting the whole lunch uncomfortable because her colleague was working and she was sitting until Gu-won came came and sat with them by force. The prince said, "What are you doing?" He said, "I also opened the car door for you and put on your scarf, so I have the right to sit and eat here." He gave the two of them grains of their grains to each other, and she was sitting, not understanding their play. After lunch, our guy was sitting with her and said, "Stop smiling at him." She said, "What's the matter? Didn't you tell me my smile is bad? Or did you change your mind?" She said, "Okay, come here, I'll teach you how to smile," until she made him smile. She was very happy and said, "See, as long as you're honest and have feelings, your smile shows." He said, "Did my feelings reach you?" and focused on her. She was embarrassed by his looks until His Highness, the prince, came and interrupted them, saying he wanted to go to the place in the picture behind her. She said, "Let's go." "Of course," our guy said. "I'll come with you. You think I'm a statue or what?" When they went to the royal palace, our girl was explaining to him. The prince was impressed and said, "What beauty!" As for our guy, he said, "Enough. You've seen a lot of things. Let's go." But he told him to get him coffee and be quiet, or else he'll cancel his contract with their hotel. While the prince was sitting with our girl, he was asking her if she was in a relationship. She said, "No, not yet." He said, "My prayers have been answered." But our guy came and sat between them and said, "Drink your coffee, pray, and tear up." He told him, "How dare you interrupt our conversation?" After that, the prince insisted on trying the traditional marriage experience done at the palace with our girl, but she told him this experience is done by couples only. He insisted he wanted to do it, and anyway, it's fake. As for our guy, he said, "Get away from her, she won't do anything. And if you want to cancel the contract, cancel it. We're not working under your command." He was about to cut the contract, but our girl pulled him and said, "No, I'll do it anyway," and ran to wear the royal clothes. When she came out, she found the one coming to do the traditional marriage experience with her was our guy, not the prince. She was shocked, of course. Do you want to know how he did it? I'll tell you. He made the prince change his clothes and grabbed the white traditional servant outfit and said in front of him, "I'll wear the white clothes because it's suitable for noble people like him, and you wear the one over there." The prince snatched the white clothes from him and said, "I'm the groom, I'll wear this." He laughed because his plan worked smartly. He went to do the marriage experience with our girl. At that moment, the prince came with a broom and wearing servant clothes, saying, "I swear I'll show you, you animal." And they kept running after each other. At the end of the day, they were finally leaving. Our guy brought her comfortable shoes instead of the heels she walked in all day. She needs to rest her feet a bit. He took her and booked a room at the hotel for her to sleep there and rest, and said she should also order the food she likes. But she went out to call him, feeling she wanted him to eat with her inside, but she took him to eat noodles outside. He said, "So I wanted you to order nice food, and you came to eat noodles? It's God's will, he has to obey her." The next day, she woke up to the sound of the door. She got up to open it and found our guy coming to say good morning to her. He felt like it was a honeymoon, but she saw the reception employee coming, so she quickly pulled him inside because she was coming to knock on him and see if he needed anything when she learned there was a room in his name. He opened the door for her and said, "I said I don't want to be disturbed yesterday. It's clear you didn't understand my words," and closed the door in her face. Our girl said, "Let me get dressed quickly, they're probably looking for me." He said, "It seems you don't listen to words," and went and picked her up and put her in bed, saying, "Today is rest, and that's it." At noon, the prince decided to invite our girl to the hotel for lunch. He had prepared the whole place for her alone, bought her a white dress to wear, and even brought our guy to serve them. She was embarrassed and said, "This isn't right." He said, "No, it's right, I must treat you like a princess." Suddenly, he proposed marriage with a diamond ring. She was dazzled by the ring because she'd never seen one like it before, but our guy snatched it from him and said, "I've kept quiet about you a lot, but I won't let you pass the limit. Let's cancel the contract, it's better." But our girl said, "Give me the ring, it came to me as a gift." He was shocked and said, "You're really going to accept?" and was about to pack up and leave. But our girl rejected his marriage proposal elegantly, saying she appreciated his feelings, but he's a guest at the hotel and they have to serve him to the fullest. She'll wait for the next time at their hotel. He was upset. At night, our girl was at the sauna with her friends until she found Gu-won calling her and wanting to meet her. He insisted on coming to where she was. When he came to her, she said, "What do you want?" He asked to talk to her outside, but she refused because she was with her friends. At that moment, her friends saw him and asked him to come sit with them. He went to try playing games. They sat with him, playing games. They told him that the Arab prince was talking to Sarong yesterday and promised to send them a plane to bring them to Dubai especially. They told him, "You're traitors. Didn't you think I was suitable for Sarong?" They told him we act according to our interests. He said, "Okay, let's sit and understand what to do so you'll help me." They told him to ask her to go out with him on a date and confess his feelings to her before he loses her. He actually decided to do this and asked her after that to go out with him on a date at the end of the week. On the date day, as soon as she entered the place, she found him receiving her. He took her clothes to hang them up and he started cooking for her. She was amazed by him. Even his food tasted very good. He got up to make her the second dish, but while making it, the fire suddenly went up high and the fire alarm went off. He ran to her to see if anything happened to her because she screamed. She said she was fine. But what will you do with the world that was messed up like this? She kept laughing laughing until suddenly he got close to her and asked if he could kiss her. Then they sat drinking something hot and warming up while covered after getting soaked like that. The next day, our girl arrived at the hotel happy. Even Gu-won was very happy and said good morning to her, to the point that his secretary was shocked he doesn't say good morning to me. Even in the elevator, he kept pinching her, and she was signaling him to calm down in case his secretary saw them. He even tried to show off after they got out of the elevator. She said, "Work is work during work time. Don't talk to me or come near me." Honestly, he sulked a bit, which is why when he was going to talk to her, he was knocking on the door while pouting. She said, "Are you still upset with me?" He said, "Of course, because you're pushing me away." But she hugged him and said, "I swear I didn't mean to, but you know we're at work." He pushed her away with his chest. She got up and sulked too, saying, "You know what? I'm wrong for making up with you. I'll go back to work." He didn't know how to make up with her. And suddenly, she got news that her grandmother got sick and entered the hospital because she fell from the stairs. She went quickly to see her. Our guy, of course, went with her. After they checked on her, he took her to drop her off at her grandmother's house to sleep there tonight. Of course, she was pouting at him, you know, but she discovered the light bulb needed to be changed. He was going to change it for her, and he went to turn off the light first, but he got electrocuted and made a short circuit in the whole house, so the two of them couldn't see where to walk because the light cut off on them, to the point where he was at the edge of kissing her by mistake. Anyway, they sat after that to make up, and he said, "Don't be upset with me. I'll try as much as I can, no matter what happens, not to leave you upset with me for a long time. Keep your nature." Then he discovered he hadn't confessed his feelings to her until now, which is why he said, "I really like you a lot and want to stay with you," and approached her to kiss her. The next day, her grandmother entered the house and found him sleeping next to her. She came down beating him, saying, "What did you do to my granddaughter, you coward?" He didn't understand why he was being beaten. He didn't do anything. Our girl got up to defend him. Grandma decided to take him with her, saying, "You sit and take care of the restaurant. This boy is coming with me." She was afraid for him from her grandmother what she'd do to him today. Anyway, the auntie took him with her to the market to introduce him to her friends. Her friends said, "Is he your granddaughter's expected groom?" He said yes, but they told him not to get his hopes up too much because he's just a candidate among candidates. Sarang has many people proposing to her, and Grandma refuses. They kept asking him if he has a house or not, but he told them he doesn't need to have a house because he lives at his hotel. Of course, he said this because he lives at his hotel, but Grandma worried about her granddaughter's future and took him with her to open a housing subscription for him to buy a house. She paid the first installment and told him that starting next month, he'd pay the rest of the installments to get the apartment. She told him, "You're just a candidate. I haven't agreed yet or anything." But despite that, he was happy because she cared about him. Plus, when they returned home, she was feeding him and taking care of him, so he felt he was really happy. One day, he decided to travel with our girl and her friends. They were going to the airport happy because they could finally travel with our girl, especially since she couldn't take leave from work. But our guy told them he convinced the manager to let her take leave and travel with them. They don't understand that he's her colleague at work, not her manager. At that moment, his secretary came and was going to call him by his title. He ran to him before he made a mistake in front of them and told them he's the manager. When Gu-won got up and told them this is the manager of the tour and he's the one who organized the trip, when he saw he was being bossy, he decided to run into his house and put on his glasses. He said, "Since you're the manager, go on, carry the bags," and pushed him. Our guy got angry and said, "Okay, but when it's in my hands?" Anyway, they arrived in Thailand finally. The house was very big with a swimming pool. They went down to play in it. As for our guy, he pushed his secretary into the pool, and her friend came out and pushed him too. They all kept playing in the pool together. Then they went out to eat at a restaurant outside. Unfortunately, our girl exposed herself and kept telling him, "Take this piece from my hand. What's wrong with you? You're not paying attention to each other." But they pretended they weren't paying attention, that there was anything. At night, after everyone slept, they went out and sat together in the pool. He kept telling her, "I missed you," and sweet talk. "Oh Lord, protect us." He even gently lifted her to get her into the water. "We're not living, I swear." The next day, they went to take pictures at the fountain. Suddenly, the water started coming at them and drenching them, but despite that, they were happy because they were all gathered together. That's the beauty of it. One day, our guy managed to be alone with Sarang, and they went out on a date together. She told him she couldn't believe it, and that they were together, to the point where she felt all this was too much for her. But he told her, "I want you to dream and not feel that anything is too much for you in the world, because I achieve your dreams." Suddenly, he was quiet for a bit, but went back to tell her, "I want to tell you something. My sister and I aren't from the same mother, she's from another mother. Unfortunately, when I was young, my mother left me, and I was broken and suffering, but all the servants working were fake and smiling in my face and not interested in my feelings at all. At that time, I felt how fake they were, and I started hating smiling completely until I met you and discovered how honest you are in your feelings." She told him, "Don't worry, I'm sure your mother is somewhere close to you, looking for you. Let's look for her together." Instead of the date, they became two, and he took her on an even better date. They were wearing a dress and suit. She told him, "What did you wish for on the occasion of the new year?" He said, "No, there's nothing left for me to wish for because you're already with me. Everything I wanted has come true." And he expressed his feelings to her and how much he loved her. She told him she also loved him more than anything. Anyway, the trip ended, and they finally returned to Korea. One day, our girl was standing at night after work waiting for the bus. Our guy came from behind and hugged her. She hit him in the stomach because she thought he was a harasser. But when she found it was our guy, she said, "Why didn't you say anything? You should have told me it was you." He kept pretending to be in pain to get close to her craftily and ask her to kiss him. He said he wanted her to heal his stomach. He took advantage of her, giving him a kiss on the cheek to get more greedy. She said, "Shame on us. Someone will see us." At that moment, there were hotel employees passing by on the road. She told him, "Get up, quickly, hide." When she found the bus coming, she made him ride quickly, but they found the whole bus was hotel employees. It turns out this is the hotel bus that takes employees home. She froze a bit and was embarrassed until she told them, "Manager Gu-won wanted to talk to you and make sure you're comfortable on the bus." She asked him to say a word to the employees and get off quickly before anyone else caught them. They escaped from them by a miracle. On the 100th anniversary of the founding of King Hotel, they were making a big party on this happy occasion, but our guy decided to invite a very important guest. When this guest got up, he said he has a modest pizza restaurant, and his father was one of the engineers who built this hotel. He used to come with him when he was young, but unfortunately, his father's financial situation at the end of his life wasn't the best, and he passed away right away, which is why he was working all the time until he was able to open the pizza restaurant. He was shocked when he found manager Gu-won came to talk to him to come attend the annual anniversary. He was very happy because this reminded him of old memories with his father here, and he wishes the hotel would continue for 1,000,000 years, not just 100 years. Gu-won's father was happy because he didn't expect our guy to bring someone important like this here today. He got up and told the man who owned the pizza restaurant that he could come to the hotel anytime with his family without any money. At that moment, our guy's sister was jealous because our guy earned a lot of points with their father. After the party, our guy was sitting with his father and his friends, but he left them for a minute and stood with our girl. She told him she was proud of him and that he made an amazing effort today, which is why she asked to invite him to her house in a few days because her friend won't be there. He said, "I'll come, of course. I'll do the impossible to come." When he went to her house, she had made him a feast of all that soul's desire. Then, while they were drinking something together, she wanted to get up to get more. He told her, "No, I'll get it." But she refused, and each one of them was insistent. He said, "Okay, let's go together," and carried her to go to the kitchen a distance of 2 steps. But for the sake of romance, they decided to show off suddenly with her cat. At that moment, her friends entered with the secretary and her friend's new boyfriend. It was a state of chaos, not to be seen. May God be with them. They sat, of course, to explain their situation and that they started dating a while ago. They told them, "Why are you hiding from us? What else? Confess before we expose you." He told them he's the company owner's son. They laughed and told him, "You're definitely kidding. It's impossible for you to be that spoiled kid working at his father's company with nepotism." But he told them, "Yes, I'm the spoiled kid working at his father's company with nepotism." It was honestly a shock not to be envied. They cursed a lot stupidly. The next day at the hotel, our guy's sister was sitting with an important person talking to him about work. It was clear he was upset with her and very angry. He took out all his anger on our girl, saying, "What's wrong with you? You keep walking around the table and putting food here and there. You're bothering me." She apologized to him, but he told her, "I'm telling you, you're bothering me. So get up and put the food down. Stop putting food and walking around me." She told him the system here is royal, and she has to put the food from right to left. He could tell her which side he wanted her to put the food on, and she'd listen to him. He got angrier with her and said, "Are you giving me a lecture or what?" He looked at our guy's sister and said, "Fire her right now, or you won't see my face again." She actually told the hall manager to fire her and give her a settlement. Our girl was shocked, but our guy came and told him, "My employees don't work under your mood to fire them whenever you like. Plus, you're acting savagely. You grabbed a knife and pointed it at her. Plus, you threw the napkin on the floor. These aren't the manners of someone in your position." He said, "Even you need to be raised," while upset. As for our guy's sister, she said, "Are you doing this for an employee?" He said, "It's my right to protect my employees." She said, "Are you sure you're just protecting her? Or is there something else? You even brought her a helicopter to save her, and now you're losing someone like this from us." Our girl apologized after he left, but he told her not to apologize. He told the hall manager she needs to protect her employees, and he'll take responsibility. One day, all the VIP hall employees were required to go to Gu-won's father's house because he wanted them to be important people, so he wanted them to take care of them there. Our girl went to his house with the other employees, but was shocked when she found the girl whose father, Gu-won's father, was trying to marry our guy to. What shocked her more was when she heard the father telling him he wanted him to get ready for the wedding to marry her within a year. The plate fell from her hand and broke from the shock, but our guy told told her, "Are you okay?" and refused to let her pick up the glass. He was going to pick it up himself, but the hall manager told her to go inside, and she'd pick it up. Anyway, our guy told his father and his friend that he loves another girl and isn't planning to get married, but despite that, he found them not interested. Even the girl told him, "It's not a problem. Break up with her and marry me anyway." But he told them, "How can you be so cold? I'm telling you, I love someone else." And yet his father and her father aren't interested. Even she herself doesn't care and wants to marry him by force. At night, our girl was going to deliver food to Gu-won's nephew. He met her outside and said, "No, don't worry, there's no marriage or anything." She said, "I know, don't worry, but move so no one sees you." She went and knocked on the room to enter the food, but no one was opening. She said she'd enter. When she entered, she didn't find anyone. It turns out he was hiding and came out to grab her. She said, "All this comes out of you, you pup. Apologize, come on." But he refused to apologize. She kept tickling him until he surrendered and apologized to her. One day, our girl was on a trip with our guy. She told him that his mother's close friend left her a message from his mother, and she wanted to see him, which is why she asked him to open his heart to her and try to talk to his mother. When they returned to Seoul, they'd know if she's the one who abandoned him. He was shocked, tense, and didn't know exactly what to do because she abandoned him at the time he needed her most when he was young. As for little Jay, he asked his grandfather to make our girl come take care of him at home. That's why the hall manager told her she won't work at the hotel during this time because the hotel owner requested her on another mission too. When she learned about Jay's situation and his grandfather and that he's lonely, she agreed to go take care of him, saying she'd treat him exactly like her younger brother. As soon as she went, little Jay was hiding as usual. She decided to treat him the same way and hide too until he came out to grab her, but he didn't find her. She came out and grabbed him, saying, "You see, hiding is bad." He insisted on challenging her, and they went out to play. Every time he lost, she said, "Last time, and that's it." He said, "You have to ask for respect, and I'll let you play another round." He was listening to her, and honestly, he got close to her unexpectedly and loved her very much. One day, our guy's father asked to speak with our girl. He wanted to invite her to lunch and asked her to sit next to him. She was surprised. What was the reason for this sudden invitation? Until she found him talking to her about her relationship with our guy, saying he knew everything. He definitely wouldn't ask them to break up because they're not children, but he wanted her to leave the hotel and go somewhere else. She said, "Is this an order or a request?" He said, "An order." She said, "Okay, since it's an order, I'll execute it." At night, she was standing thinking while upset until our guy came and hugged her, saying, "What are you doing?" But she told him she was just standing, contemplating the place. He said he wouldn't be able to see her for the coming period because he was traveling on a business trip for 3 weeks. She said, "Good, it's not a long time." But he told her, "On the contrary, it's a month we won't see each other much, and you'll miss me. That's why let's not go home today, let's go somewhere together today." Her mind went far away, but he meant to go to the amusement park and try to go out on a different date. They actually spent a beautiful time, but this was the last date that would bring them together because she traveled after that too. After the 3 weeks passed, our guy returned happy. The hall manager received him, but he was surprised, saying, "Where's Sarang?" She told him she was appointed somewhere else. At that moment, his world collapsed as if his mother's trauma was repeating itself, and someone took something he loved again, especially when he found the hall manager smiling a fake smile. He told her, "I told you I intend to make King Hotel without fake smiles, so tell me the truth. Where did she go?" She said, "I'm sorry, but they asked us not to bring her name here again." But she was appointed at King Tourist Hotel. He left quickly to look for her, but suddenly he heard someone calling him, and this person was his mother. Of course, it was a big shock for him. He tried to hold himself together and sit with her to understand. She told him she ran away when he was young because she thought it was the most appropriate solution for all of them, since she was divorcing his father and was facing many problems. But she discovered she was wrong, and nothing would compensate for her presence. He told her he understood why she did this because she was weak and trying to protect herself and her son. He's not telling her this because he's making excuses for her. He's saying this because he understands what it means to have something you're trying to protect, which is why he doesn't want her to feel guilty. He went outside and kept crying. Then he went back to hug her because he really needed her. He never forgot her. Then he went to King Tourist Hotel in Jeju, where our girl was transferred. At that moment, she was standing in the garden. As soon as he saw her, the spirit returned to him, but she was sad because she knew they wouldn't talk together. She tried to treat him normally so he wouldn't feel anything. He told her he knew why they brought her here, but all this would change. He told her that he met his mother and talked to her, and that she never left his mind for a moment. She was happy for him because he was able to get close to her, and this would make him forget all his pain and heal it. One day, our guy went to buy a ring for Sarang to propose to her. He had prepared a proposal she'd swear on her life for, but unfortunately, before he surprised her and told her, she surprised him and told him she didn't want to continue and intended to leave. His heart fell to his feet while he was holding the ring, and he asked her, "What do you mean you don't want to continue?" She told him she intended to resign from the hotel and not continue in it. She'd open her own hotel because she'd thought a lot about this and saw it was the most appropriate. At that moment, he laughed because he thought she was breaking up with him. He told her he'd support her in any choice she made and stay by her side. She asked him, "What were you going to tell me?" He told her, "Nothing, let's leave it for later." And of course, postponed the marriage proposal because he thought he could present it to her in a better way. The next day, she went to have lunch with Gu-won's father and told him she was resigning from the hotel. He asked her about the reason. She told him that when she was away from Gu-won, she discovered how much she loved him, which is why she wasn't planning to separate from our guy. But she was resigning so she wouldn't be forced to compete with his orders to stay away from him, he told her. "So, you mean you're starting a war?" She said, "No, not at all. I may not please you, but be sure I won't disappoint you." He laughed and told her, "That's why I liked your personality. I'm sorry for being selfish and thinking about myself. I shouldn't have separated you from the beginning." She was happy because he was finally able to understand their great love. With time, our guy began expanding his work and intended to open a chain of hotels outside the country. As for our girl, she opened a small hotel, as big as she could handle. She wanted to hire an employee for the weekend because she wouldn't be free to receive customers that day. But the people who came weren't to her liking, and their demands were different until she found our guy coming to apply for the job. She said, "Why does the owner of King Hotel want to work here?" He said, "I'm trying to earn a living honestly. Everyone works 2 jobs. She asked him to smile first, and she'd approve him. He tried to smile in every way until she agreed. At that moment, he told her, "The last and most important test I need to pass is your approval to stay with me forever." And he was advancing and kneeling. She said, "I approve. Of course. I love you." He hugged her and said, "And I love you too." After that, the wedding preparations began, and everyone was present. No one was missing. Even our girl looked like the moon. Thank God they were able to get married without problems or conversations because their relationship was real and stronger than any problem that would face them in their life. And with this, we've reached the end of our summary. I hope you liked it. Don't forget to share your opinion with me in the comments, sweeties. Don't forget to subscribe because we have amazing new series coming up. Peace.